What's up, guys? Pittsburgh One Schwartz back again with another deck tech for you. Today we are coming at you with another option for building ReZero with the new Frozen Bonds cards that doesn't necessarily use all of the old expensive stuff from the first couple sets. I have Carmen with me here today.
What's up? What's up?
And I guess, without further ado, let's jump into it. So here's the deck list. This deck does not look like the other meta Frozen Bonds lists that have been floating around. You might notice that there are characters other than Amelia and Puck in this deck. At level 0, we run pretty similarly to the old-ish ReZero decks. We run the Amelia run to center as our plussing 0, the Betty Brainstorm, the Ram and Rem Bomb for filter and selectivity, as well as a couple other spicy options like the Subaru level 0 there and the Puck back row. At level 1, we run a number of Betty cards to work in tandem with the level 2 Forbidden Library event, which I'll talk about a little bit more when we get to those slides. Forbidden Library is to summon the level 3 Betty there on the bottom row, and the rest of the green cards are included for the same reason that they are in every other recent variant of ReZero Frozen Bonds. The merge package is extraordinarily strong, and the options provided on the new Amelia finisher are especially powerful. That coverage is extremely good.
Yeah, just really powerful cards, and it's a lot more splashable than it might seem. Even with like there's no green level 0s here or anything like that, but it's still totally fine.
No, yeah, eventually one of those cards will sneak its way into your clock. You just capitalize on that,
and you're not as all in on it, so like it doesn't hurt you too much to level one of these cards, even though they're all cards you're looking for.
Right. Yeah. Unlike in the decks where you are playing green and you're playing all Amelia and all Puck, you won't necessarily always field the 1/1 Amelia to Kitsubo at level 1 always. Sometimes you'll just hold the pieces in hand and throw everything down at level 2 to get the Amelia on board.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we can jump into the card by card discussion here.
Sure.
So first we've got the Emilia Runner, plussing 0, sits at 3,500, runs to center with 5 or more cards in hand. The powerful plussing level 0 that most ReZero decks have been running, or some decks still are running. Just extremely powerful through and through. I got the 3 copies of this Rem and Ram Bomb. It can bomb out certain oversizes. I know a lot of decks are playing like 4K oversizes to hit over some threats in the meta these days. So this can be relevant for that at level 0, but its other primary use is its second effect. It can sack itself, discard a card from your hand to take any magic or weapon character from your waiting room. This helps you sculpt for all of the pieces that you need to get your combo going at any point in the game, because you do need the 2 pieces of the merge combo. You need the Amelia and the Puck, as well as you need some specific Betty cards to get the Forbidden Library package online as well. So this helps you set up for all of that. On the next slide here, 3 copies of the Betty Brainstorm. It's a self-tap salvage Brainstorm, takes anything from waiting room. Pretty self-explanatory. The first effect, when another character becomes reversed, you can assign 500 power somewhere, potentially relevant, especially with one of the other Betty cards that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. This Subaru is an extremely relevant card in the deck, 3 copies. He is on play, ditch a card from your hand, salvage a copy of the Forbidden Library event from your waiting room. So he ditch bonds to the event that is the core of your engine in this deck. And he also, his second effect allows him, when he's reversed in battle, to pay 1, ditch a card, send him to memory, and salvage a card, a magic or weapon character from your waiting room. So this Subaru serves dual purpose. He gets your event from waiting room, and he also sends himself to memory and acts as part of your condition for your level 3 Amelia, who needs 3 cards in memory.
Yeah, the memory stuff seems to synergize pretty well, because you're already building incidental memory throughout the game. So
yeah, I found that it works surprisingly well. You don't need to play all of the you don't need to play the level 0 Puck that goes to memory. You don't need to play Return by Death. The fact that this goes to memory and the Forbidden Library event also goes to memory, combined with the fact that the merge pieces go to memory on their own, you merge them, has been more than enough in a lot of cases.
Yeah, for sure. It helps fill that auxiliary memory slot. You make sure you hit condition every time.
On the next slide here, we've got the Rem Brainstorm, excuse me. Pretty solid card, helps you fish for any level 1s or potential utility level 0s that you may need. Allows you to tri-field relatively easily at level 0. Probably don't need to go into much more detail about why Rickies are good.
Yeah.
But this next card I am going to talk about a little bit. It's a back row level 0 Puck, gives 500 power frontal, and also has act ability, rest this card, choose one of your other book trait characters, and that character gets a level in 500 power until the end of the turn. So this is especially relevant in conjunction with the Forbidden Library event, but I guess I can hold off on that until we get to the event card itself.
Yeah, it's the level level matters the most.
The level is important here, yeah.
It's interesting you've opted for only 2 Rickies here. I think a lot of people would want to slam 3 or 4 of this card.
No, I definitely like to fit 3, but trying to fit the memory condition with the Subaru has made the level 0 in this deck incredibly tight. Maybe cut a copy of the Rem and Ram Bomb for a 3rd.
Yeah,
Ricky.
that's what I was thinking. You don't like that? Yeah, I think that'd be fine. But
the card counts at level 0 are all preference here.
Yeah, you just go with what you feel comfortable with. Most important part is that you have this Megamorph puck. Pretty important. That and the Subaru.
If you're not playing the 2/2 Forbidden Library, this puck is an important part of your game plan in this deck.
All right, we move past level 0s.
Yep. On to level 1. The level 1 combo. This Betty combos with a book, 105k. On attack, if the book is in your climax area, mill the top card of your deck. If it's a magic or weapon character, you get to choose a character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. So
Door, right? Not book.
Yeah. Did I say book? Yes.
Yeah, she's book trait. Yeah.
Book trait. Yes. With she combines with comeback she combos with comeback trigger.
Comeback trigger. Jesus.
But yeah, she's included in this deck. Also for her synergy with the puck that we just looked at, the fact that she's a level 1 Betty is relevant, which is why I've opted to play a level 1 Beatrice combo in this deck. And again, just keep that in mind as we go forward. We'll get to the Forbidden Library event in just a moment here.
Also, just like a coin flip for on attack salvage.
No, yeah, cards actually pretty solid. You just get whatever you want. Selective plus on attack the vast majority of the time with little to no condition. Everything is magic or weapon trait. So unless you hit a climax or a Forbidden Library event, of which I'm only running 2, you just plus for free.
And it does let you run door in the deck too. Always a good trigger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So solid level 1 combo for sure. I think this combo is a little bit more slept on than it probably should be, but definitely a solid option.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next slide here. We've got the 1/1 Amelia combos with the 2/1 puck. Her sole purpose here is to the Takitsubo effect isn't super relevant. I'm not running a ton of Amelias or pucks in this deck. She does allow you to search for the 2/1 to help get the combo together a little bit quicker. But her sole purpose here is to be sacked to memory with the puck to summon the 3/2 as early as possible to get that online. The other card here, 2 copies of the Beatrice Bomb, sits at 4k on your turn and is a level 1 reverse bomb. In a similar vein to the combo, like I mentioned, this card's sole purpose in the deck is to be a level 1 Beatrice to synergize with the Forbidden Library event, which I guess I can talk about now. It's on the next slide here. Skipping over that puck, since I combos with the 1/1 Amelia, summons the 3/2. Not much more to say. If you've seen any of our other deck techs, I'm sure we've talked this card to death.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have the counter.
This is not the Forbidden Library event, but yeah, this is the counter. This is a 2/1 Betty counter. It's a 2500 counter. Allows you to protect your things that are already being made large by your level 3 Amelia back row that was merged into by the puck and the Amelia here on the same slide. Like the other Bettys that I mentioned before it, in conjunction with the puck back row that gives them a level. This is a level 2 Beatrice, which goes along with the Forbidden Library event. If you aren't feeling this card, this is a bit of a flex slot. You could always swap this into an anti-change counter, which I know a lot of people are very hot on. It's an extremely powerful card, sends to bottom deck, powerful removal, pretty cheap cost.
Yeah, we've also talked that one to death too. So it's just more that's just the 2/1 has extra utility in the deck because of the Forbidden Library, but you could opt to play the Amelia if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like an easy out if you don't have a Betty.
Yeah, it's this is your if you do opt to run this Betty backup, this is your emergency combo with Forbidden Library in case you can't get into the puck and a level 1 Betty, which shouldn't be that hard, but this is just some extra insurance.
Yeah, for sure. We can talk about the actual Forbidden Library now.
Yeah, so let's talk about the actual Forbidden Library now. So this is a 2/1 event. You rest one of your standing characters with Beatrice in name, and then if you do, you can choose one of your level 2 characters with Beatrice in name. So this is where the puck back row comes in. He is give one of your book trait characters, which are all of the Beatrice characters, +1 level and 500 power. So you can make one of the 6 level 1 Bettys that you're running in this deck level 2 and return it to your hand. If you do choose any character in your hand with Beatrice in its name, in this deck we are opting for this level 3 Beatrice here on the same slide and put it on any position of your stage, and that character gets 1000 power until the end of the turn, and then the event goes to memory. So the event is twofold. It pulls out this Beatrice, which sits at 11k on its own and has pay 1 at the start of your opponent's attack phase, stand and swap it with one of your other characters to a different stage position, and it gets 1000 power till end of turn. So if you swap it, it sits at 12k on its own, and then in conjunction with the early play Emilia Amelia merge combo thing gets an extra 3k and sits at 15k during your opponent's turn when your opponent is attacking into it, and 14k on your turn when you're attacking with it, in addition to the fact that it heals on play, since it comes into play from hand with the Forbidden Library event as well.
I think the coolest part about this, like putting this in the green deck, is that it gives you another early play option on your follow-up level 2 turns where you no longer have 2 or less condition for puck. So it lets you like continue to slam heals when you follow up with this, and then it makes your board more resilient because your opponent can't pin down your pucks with like, you know, something. Because like this card isn't as big as your well, it's the same size as your pucks, but the pucks like don't have to be, you know, it depends on what you want to give up. It gives you options.
Yeah, I think it sits at 11, just like puck. Yeah. And
yeah, so everything will be 14k again.
They both get to 14. She gets to 15 if she stand and swaps.
Yeah, if your opponent's trying to corner you with power, you could just swap one of your 14ks for this one, and then this one's 15 in front of your Amelia. So
it's just in addition to the fact that you're now running 3 extra healers in your deck with this, it also makes your opponent have to think harder during during their attack step, which can definitely tip things in your favor.
Yeah, it seems like a really solid like deck building choice. A lot more solid than people give it credit for. I know that like people are super hot on like the Sumi stuff from like Rental Girlfriend, and it's the same like card hand economy as this card, right? It like becomes a like ditch a card day one early play.
Yeah.
So definitely a lot better than it's given credit for.
Yeah, the fact that the event goes to memory is icing on the cake. It works toward the 3-card memory condition on the Amelia back row as well.
Yeah, even if you manage to miss a Subaru early or something like that, still gives you that extra memory.
Yeah, the other option you've got, there's the 2/2 Forbidden Library event, which is it's a 2/2 event that also goes to memory. It summons this cute girl Beatrice specifically from hand. If you want to open up some slots in the deck, it allows you to cut the back row puck, and then you don't need as many level 1 Beatrice cards as well. So you can potentially pivot into a different combo if you wanted to play say Book or something.
Yeah, but
it definitely gives you those options as well. But this, I found that the one stock one helps you run a little bit leaner if you can spare the slots for it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, on the next slide here are more cards that I'm sure we've talked to death. The early play puck, early plays with 2 or fewer climaxes, sits at 11k with full board, has on play ditch a card, heal to stock, plays for 1, sits at 14 with the back row Amelia, who is also on this slide. The Amelia has hexproof if the 1/1 Amelia, the merge piece, is in memory. And if you have 3 or more cards in memory, she gives 1,000 power times frontal level assist to characters in front of her. Makes this puck early play and the Beatrice on the previous slide that we just looked at extraordinarily large. And just on your turn, your opponent should probably not be able to hit over 14k on defense in most cases.
Yeah, 14k back up to 16.5 should be relatively unscalable.
Yeah, 17.5 if you stand and swap with the Beatrice.
Yeah, that is a lot of power. So yeah, for sure. I think we've talked all this stuff to death. I mean, the next slide, obviously, we're playing the Amelia finisher. Again, we brought this up in every single video that we've talked about in ReZero. Frozen Bonds, it's just an 11k healer with a free-ish climax combo off bar. I mean, it's super consistent. It's either clock kick or when you direct attack, ditch a card burn too. So no matter what your opponent does, you get something off of it. Just a super solid, extremely stable finisher that continues to play into your game plan of winning board every turn from level 2 onward. And you know, just very consistent finisher.
You get to level 3, you'll definitely have 2 cards in memory if you're playing this deck correctly at all. It's 4 additional healers for your deck because we love healing. Healing's a good effect, keeps you alive, keeps you in the game, and like Carmen said, the climax combo is always relevant whether it's attacking into a lane with a character, it's swinging for 14k like every other card in this deck, or it's burning on direct attack. So extremely versatile, extremely powerful.
Yeah, super solid card. Looking at the deck list one more time, you can just play the 2/1 or the 2/1 anti-change, whatever you want, the burn counter or the anti-change. The Betty's probably a little better in this deck just because it does give you that extra consistency for getting that 3/2 out.
But I mean, if you're more of an anti-change guy, you know, I mean, that's always good to threaten. Your opponent sees it go into your waiting room. It's something they have to watch out for. Though I guess even if you aren't playing it, your opponent assumes you're playing ReZero and assumes you probably are playing it. So at least through your first deck, they have to be extremely cautious of it until they don't see it.
Yeah, until they catch on that you aren't playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But playing ReZero, your opponent more often than not will be playing around this card, whether you choose to play it or not. There's a little bit of a mind game there. So this does include some older cards. I think specifically the Emilia Runner might be hard to get, but these other cards, these Betty cards, should be extremely easy to get your hands on. So
yeah, the Beatrice cards shouldn't be too bad. Last I checked, the Amelia Runner wasn't
too bad.
Yeah.
So the most important cards here at 0 are the Puck back row and the Subaru that goes to memory. So if you want to play with these other counts, possibly like play more green, play the other Brainstormer, play the other Sack Salvage or stuff like that, you could make substitutions to make this deck a little bit easier to get your hands on if you're newer and you really only have Frozen Bonds. You have a Frozen Bonds playset, and you wanna pick up something with a little bit of a different playstyle. It shouldn't be that hard for you to make functional substitutions and get in there and start playing.
But yeah, the potentially expensive old cards like the Runner, and I don't know how much the Sack Rem and Rem Bomb would be these days. But I mean, they aren't super relevant. I'm sure there are other cards in ReZero that fill the role fairly well. You can play any other sort of like 4K oversize or whatever ReZero has. You could play.
It doesn't even matter because it's already off color.
As long as you play some sort of plussing 0, that card I wouldn't say is
too relevant.
It's not required to play the deck. I'd say you can substitute that without too much trouble.
You just need to make sure your red fix is good enough, because if you cut all the other red except for the Subaru at 0, you might run into some issues. If you're playing a level 1 red combo and you don't want to level some of these other cards, you really want to level a red level 0 if you can, because you want to keep your Bettys around to use for your Forbidden Library. But it shouldn't be too hard to get your hands on something that you could play.
I don't know if the Betty Brainstorm is expensive either, but I know there was a set 1 Ram Brainstorm that is also
red,
solid and is red, and that should be significantly cheaper than the Betty if the Betty is expensive for some reason. I haven't looked.
The Betty is a very small edge because of how it works with clean cut. It helps if you're playing the old Rem clean cut. It helps it get over stuff because you can crash a lane and then cut something to get that extra 500.
In this case, it's more relevant if you're crashing, say, Subaru to try to get his effect off and go to memory, or the level 1 Betty Bomb. You can assign power to a lane and potentially hit over somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that is it. On the close, like we always do, the Discords, we don't run or operate either of these, but we are in them, and we do talk and play games there quite a bit. Card games and competitive. Looking to play Weiss over webcam or just talk about the game, this is where you want to go. If you're looking to buy, sell, or trade Weiss, definitely check out the Facebook group, both global and NA, depending on where you're located. In global, we also have AP spoilers that get posted there. Sometimes with translation, sometimes not, but you can be up to date on what cards are coming out. It's pretty cool. And if you want to try this deck, you want to try it before you buy, you don't have all the old cards or something like that, definitely check out weissfight.net. You don't got to install anything. You just pull it up in your browser, kind of like Dueling Book for Yu-Gi-Oh! Slam in an Encore Decks link, which we'll have in the description for this deck, and just queue up and play a game and try out the deck. Pretty cool. If you want to help make the project better, definitely join the Discord. The developer is very responsive to feedback, so definitely put your feedback in there and help make the app better, as it's a really good community resource to have a free simulator for play. So definitely check that out. And I think that's it, right, Brian? We don't have anything else?
Nothing else from me. Should be good.
All right, I think that's it. Pittsburgh White Sports signing off. We'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.